I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it.
What is up, you guys? It's your boy Captain Jack. We know how to pick the worst days. It is blowing, and we took the jet ski out. John, do we put the jet? Yeah, this is your second time on the jet ski?
Yeah, both times it was like this.
Yeah.
Actually, it was bigger last time, but I think it's blowing harder this time.
Yeah, it's blowing, it's rolly. Camera doesn't really do it justice. We're gonna dive some mounts, unmarked territory. Goal is to get dinner. We want dinner. It's been a while since I had some fish, so yeah. We'll see you in the water.
Alright, welcome back underwater, everybody. Now I'm just going to give you a couple of walkthroughs and voiceovers as I'm doing some diving, and it's just John and I out there. And I think that's a huge advantage of using the jet ski, but the only downside is that you have to keep up with the jet ski. So now the way I do it is I have a flasher set up going to the float line and then going to the jet ski. We make a first drop. I'm going, John's holding on to the flashers. A nice group of AJs come in. I take a long shot and I end up rolling this guy. And now whenever I shot him, he's kind of given a little bit of tail kicking, and I know that he's not really fully stoned. And all it's going to take is just a couple of movements of the spear, and he can easily come back to life. And he kind of does a little bit once I get him to the surface, and you'll see me kind of handle him at the surface. And my main objective is to get a hold of his tail. So he's coming up. I know he's not dead, fully dead. He's got a lot of life. He's very green, and I just make it a goal to get a hold of his tail. Do not give him any slack. You see me kind of loosen up my hands a little bit, and that's when the fish will give a couple kicks and get out of your hands. So whenever you get a hold of them, you really got to hold them tight. But either way, that's a great shot. You can see I landed it right next to that little stripe on their head, and that's my goal, is to hit him in that stripe. If I was a little higher, I probably would have really stoned him, but I messed him up pretty good. In through one side of the head, out the eye, and you can see where I'm braining him. His brain is kind of where that stripe is. I got him on one side, and now I'm going to the other side with these bigger fish. I make sure I for sure brain him. Even when he's in the fish bag, he also still is kicking around. So, but also bleed these amberjack. They have a huge bloodline, and you can see how much blood this guy is just pouring out. But just brain them first. That instills the quality of meat, and so does bleeding them. Pretty stoked on this fish.
What we got, Captain Jack?
Woo, baby. Quick drop. First drop. Woo. Stud AJ. Beautiful. Rolled him. I rolled him, but he was still alive though. But stoked. Beautiful fish. Yes. Woo. Hell yeah. We're doing it. Got the fish bag loaded up. Big old AJ in there, probably like 35, maybe 40 pounds. Current is pumping. I'm stoked we got dinner at least, and I don't know, I might just cook up that AJ. Hopefully we get something better. I'm down for some snapper, but that was awesome. Immediately saw it, immediately dove. Kind of followed him for a little while. I was trying to get him to turn, wouldn't turn, and I was like, you know what? I got a headshot. I'm gonna make a Hail Mary. Literally Hail Mary. Rolled him. I was not expecting him to flip over like that. So stoked when that happens. Pulled him on up. He went crossways, so it was a while to get him up to the surface. Thank God there's no sharks, but sun is setting and we're still gonna get after it. Hopefully we get another fish. I want John to get a fish.
So we reset in a new area, and here goes me making a drop. And the kind of diving we're doing now is we're mainly going for pelagic, some yellow jacks, amber jacks, stuff like that. I would love to get a snapper or a grouper, because grouper season has finally opened, but the conditions are not ideal for it. Once you go down, you kind of disappear, so it's really hard for your dive buddy to keep track of you. And also, what's bad is the current is just pumping, and if I went down and sat on the bottom, you would 100% not move. The dive buddy plus the ski would move past myself, and then you would be stuck catching up to the jet ski. It's just not very safe diving. So I go up to the surface, little breathe up, and I saw another group of AJs come into the flashers, make a drop, and I'm really patient with this guy. I want to make sure I land a good shot, and that time I hit the right on the money, right for that little, I aimed for that little stripe above the eye, and lights out for that guy. And I actually turned and saw a nice African pompano on my way up. And I would have much rather have had that and had some variety, but I'm still happy with this fish.
There was like a 30-pound AP when I turned around after I shot him.
An AP?
Like a 30-pounder. Ah, huge. Make it drop. And do a lot of grunting. And just chill down there. I'll hold the thing.
So you guys know, it is getting really dark and really eerie. So same thing I'm doing on this dive, going down, making grunting, hoping something comes into the flashers. We're doing a little bit of chumming, but not a lot. And here comes a nice school of yellowjack. And now this dive is very interesting. I take my time, very sweet time, being very selective with these yellowjacks. I was going for the stone shot a little low, and right next to this big structure, there is a Goliath grouper just waiting to pounce, and he pounces right about now. Grabbed my entire fish and just head straight into a hole. So now I get to the surface and I'm fighting this fish. I let John know once I get up to the surface that we have a problem, and I'll walk you through what I do. So I just start tugging, honestly. I told John to get the ski. Now the current is pumping, and my only option that I'm thinking is get the ski, complete the line off, and just try to rip him out of the hole. But this whole time I'm yanking, I'm kind of fighting him. I could tell he's kind of wrapped up in the wreck a little bit. But sure enough, this guy ends up spitting the fish out, and the grouper's thinking kind of like what we would think if we had some kind of meat that we were eating and there was a toothpick in it. It's not a very pleasant thing, and they cannot tear the fish apart. So they're trying to swallow it whole, and when there's a giant, 4-foot spear in this piece of meat they're trying to eat, they do not want it. So luckily the guy spit this. There's a couple of chew marks on the fish, but I was basically giving them the heat, ripping it as much as I could, and it's either lose the shaft or lose the fish.
What? I was just yanking on him, dude.
Oh my God. I thought that was an AP. I couldn't tell it's a shot.
No.
I was losing my mind trying to.
Ooh, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Afternoon sunset mission. Had ended the night with a battle with the Goliath. I wanted dinner, something not to smoke. Shot the yellowjack, it just disappeared into a Goliath's mouth. And when you shoot those things, just try not to give up. Horse them, because it's either you're gonna lose your shaft, you're gonna lose your gun, you're gonna lose something. So just horse them, and he finally spit it. He left a bunch of chunks of marks all over the fish, but I got him in. Battle, dude. And yeah, we got to get settled in. We're fighting sunset. This thing doesn't have lights on it. We got to go. All right, so check this out. Look at this. Goliath marks. That's where I got a hold of them. Boom, like that. And just was ripping and ripping, and I won that battle real quick. Bucket of fillets. We're pretty stoked on that. And John, what do you think? Excited about the smoked fish we're about to get after?
I can't wait for some smoked fish, little yellowjack sashimi.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and have my dad run you through his smoking process, and then I'm gonna just show you what I do for the dip. You gotta get the dip going. I'm gonna get some tips and tricks from Johnny Boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna throw the best of the best in the dip, and we're gonna do a taste test, so we'll see you guys back in my crib. All right, you guys, we made it back to my house, and check this out. We got so much smoked fish, and I diced it all up in here. Oh, and real quick, the way my dad did this was he brined it overnight. He put a gallon of water, a cup of sugar, a cup of salt, and then he also put a half a cup of brown sugar. And he cooked it at 180, 190 after letting it brine overnight. And halfway through, he took it out and sprinkled it all with garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and onion powder. And then he cooked it until the internal temperature of the big pieces were 140, and that's when he took it off, and that's what we have here. But we're gonna make some smoked fish dip out of it. I have this little processor, I diced it all up. Now we got this giant bowl. John already started, but these are the ingredients. We got some Old Bay, mayonnaise, Cholula, sour cream, lemon juice. Are we gonna put some of those jalapenos in there?
Not in it.
Oh, dang it, I want to put them in it. Not the Montreal. All right, but we're gonna mix this all up. Also, another thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put some jalapeno in the processor, and I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna get some green onion fresh out of the garden. Check this out. Right here, baby. Straight from the garden. Just grab a couple pieces off. Nothing too crazy. Grab some of these little ones. And I love this because they just grow right back. And one more. Look at that. I'm just gonna throw this straight in that little processor just to get a little greens, just to get a little extra flavor, and we will do a taste test in just a minute. John prematurely got some. What do you think?
It was very good.
More Old
add
Bay?
a little more Old Bay to it. Maybe a little hot sauce.
And this stuff, there's no like recipe. We just do it as we go. Check out the consistency. It's really whatever you want to make it.
Started with a recipe and now
You just do it by feel and taste and look.
yeah.
I want to try it. He added the Old Bay, so right. It's taste test time. After a little bit of adjusting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the best part is, we have a gigantic amount, not just like a little ice cream scoop that you get at the restaurant. That's good. All right, you guys, that was absolutely insane. Incredible little adventure, afternoon mission. I absolutely love doing those things, and I love bringing you guys along with me. If you haven't seen my other intense island hopping videos, I will link it up in the corner, and it's just like this stuff, action packed. I will give you walkthroughs through the dives. If you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up. If you're new, consider subscribing. I do adventures like this, dropping a video once a week. Feel free to comment below. I love it seeing what you guys talk about, and I will see you next week for another adventure. Later.